I want to talk about the incubation period of Curt Cignetti. So, Curt Cignetti is the coach of the Indiana Hoosiers, who just won the college football national championship. This dude went 16-0 at Indiana. And for those that aren't sports fans, Indiana University has historically been a basketball school. The Indiana Hoosiers, right? Like the Hoosier state. Indiana was a basketball state. But under this guy's leadership, they have all of a sudden jumped into the zeitgeist of being a football powerhouse. And it's so fascinating to just look and listen to what he's done, right? This dude has been successful as a head coach at every stop along the way. Everybody talks about, the maxims or the principles and the attention to detail. Everybody wants to dive into, the discipline and, also the fact that they have prioritized individuals or players with a lot of experience, meaning their roster, their football team is almost as old as some young NFL teams, right? I mean, obviously, give or take a few players that are got some experience. But the reality is they have prioritized a system that works, right? So this guy and his meteoric rise to stardom as a coach is going to be studied for a long time. And a lot of people have opinions about him. They're like, yo, this dude, he's the best of here. And he's whatever. He's taking players who were maybe not the most highly rated or highly ranked and getting the most out of them. Like, how is he able to do that where other universities are having to go and get the 5-star or the elite players and they have not matched his success yet? All of those schools that have gone and gotten all elite players have not gone 16-0 and won a national championship yet. And what's going to be fascinating is as he moves forward, because of the success, he's now going to have access, or his program will now have access to those 5-star players who are now wanting to be a part of his system. So everybody's going to talk about that, the system. But there's one thing that I want to talk about that few people give a lot of attention to is the incubation period before he became a head coach. See, Curt Cignetti is, I believe, 61 years old. But what some are not talking a whole lot about is the fact that Curt Cignetti spent 27 years as an assistant coach. He spent 27 years as an assistant coach. If you can see the clip that I just put up here, he started as a GA or grad assistant in 1983. He didn't get his first head football coaching position until 2011. 27 years as an assistant, as a recruiting coordinator, as a coordinator. He spent 27 years as an assistant. The incubation period. See, that's something that I think a lot of us, especially in the age or the era that we live in, are going to struggle with. How many of us can spend 27 years in the lab developing your system, curating your perspectives, understanding how to move? How many of us are willing to spend 27 years doing that before getting our opportunity? How many of us are? That's the part that's going to be challenging. Because, if you are a content creator, you're basically taught that within the first 3 to 5 seconds, if you don't gain the attention of, a consumer, they're not going to watch your content. You have to do something immediately to get their attention. That being said, it spills into our attention spans, meaning most folks are like, hey, if the video is longer than 2, 3, 4 minutes, it's like, man, I ain't got time to watch this whole thing. Or if you look at your statistics, if you have a video that's more than 2 minutes long, What percentage of those looking at your video are watching it all the way through? Very few. Most people are only watching a few seconds of it. It's the attention piece, right? So when you look at that and you think about that in the era that we live in where everything's fast, quick, when you order something online, you expect it to be delivered at least within 2 days. But in a lot of instances, you're expecting same day delivery on stuff. Like that's the expectation. Quick, convenient, right now. But this dude, Curt Cignetti, spent 27 years as an assistant. That incubation period. And so I, on a personal level, would be more interested in studying how that incubation period influenced his success as a head coach. Not the principles, not the this, not the maxims, and not the sayings and all of that. That's important and that's cool. But how did that incubation period prepare him for the platform that he's on right now? See, so many of us, we're wanting to rush through the incubation period. Think about like when you're cooking, right? The marination process. Like you marinate something, and if you don't marinate it long enough, them seasonings ain't getting all the way down to the bone, right? So you're not going to have something that's seasoned all the way through because you didn't marinate it long enough. And again, that incubation period, that time to grow, to develop, to work things out, to ask questions, to witness how things have been successful with some and unsuccessful with others. And over time, you make those notes. You make those notes. And that's the whole notion of staying ready. You're getting ready, and now you're staying ready. So then when the proper opportunity presents itself, you're ready to rock and roll. And it looks like you have this meteoric rise to success. But the reality is, again, looking at the video here, he was an assistant from 1983 to 2011. And from 2011 to 2026, he has been a head coach. So 27 years as an assistant, the last 15 as a head. And as a head coach, he just won the national championship with an undefeated season. Don't skip the incubation period. Don't rush the incubation period. If you go outside in the springtime and you see, a caterpillar, in its cocoon getting ready to turn into a butterfly, if you go and open up that cocoon too early, the wings aren't developed yet. But if you let that thing get to a point in which it's ready to come out of the cocoon at the right time, that beautiful butterfly flies, and it flies well. Don't skip the incubation period. That's something, from my perspective, that we can learn from the recent journey of Indiana head football coach Curt Cignetti. What are your thoughts? What's something right now in your life that you feel like you're kind of in an incubation period on? Like what's something in your life? And put it in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. What's something right now in your life that you feel like I'm in an incubation period? And if you are in an incubation period, continue to grow, continue to develop, continue to work things out, stay in the lab, because when your time comes, you might be able to do like my man did and go 16-0 and win that championship. You dig? So anyway, as always, this content is all about helping you to become the back of your mindset, but in the process, be blessed, well, and wise. And I'll holler at you. Peace.